I don't know about you, but driving test centers have to be the top 3 most soul-sucking places on earth. First, we got North Korea, not exactly a destination spot. Then there's Syria, enough said. And finally, that godforsaken place where some grumpy examiner fresh off of divorce is looking like he's one more failed parallel park away from crashing out and starring in his very own Netflix True docu-series. Walking into a driving test center is like stepping into a black hole of crushed dreams and body odor. Everyone looks like they've aged 10 years from waiting in this endless line trying to make sense of this number sequence. 1 minute it's C116, then it's C117, and then it jumps to Z567? Like, where's the consistency? I hear asking for answers like a failing relationship. Speaking of failing, there's Becky crying in the corner because she just failed her test. Mascara running down her face like she just got back from the coal mines. She's looking around at us like we had something to do with her running those 2 red lights earlier in the student zone. And honestly, by the sounds of it, she might be running a third any minute now. And I'm not talking roads. For all you Americans out there, let me explain. Up here in Canada, we have a 3-step process to get your full driver's license. First, it's a G1, which is a written test, lets you drive, but only if you got someone else in the car with you. Yeah, not exactly my idea of freedom. I can't be out here at 21 with my mom having to ride shotgun on my way to scoop the guys for an evening of degeneracy. Then there's a G2, a fan favorite, may I add. A lot of niggas don't really make it past here, let's be honest. This one lets you drive alone, but with restrictions, of course. A strict 0 blood alcohol level must be kept, even if you swear you drive better off the liquid courage. That shit just doesn't slide here. Now here's where my problem starts. Once you get your G2, a lot of people forget that it's not a permanent license and procrastinate on taking their final G test. So then you end up scrambling to book it last minute just to avoid returning to that soul-sucking test center. Come to find out, this shit's fully booked for the next 6 months, no joke. And if you push it too close, you risk letting your G2 expire. And if that happens before you upgrade to big G status, you'll find yourself back at the test center. This time, Becky left a spot just for you.
Stupid!
My story starts here. I'm 20 with a G2. I know, I can hear the comments already. Most people get their full license by 18, but I'm just gonna go ahead and blame it on Corona, like everybody else in my generation. The first few months with my G2, I'm driving everybody everywhere. I feel like that's just a phase everybody has to go through when you first get your license. The feeling of freedom is honestly unmatched. I recommend it to anybody that doesn't have their license right now to go get that shit, because that shit feels crazy. It's pretty nice. After a while though, you kind of just get used to it and it just becomes your new norm. Like everything else in life. A little bit of nihilism, I know. I started to look at public transportation like it was beneath me. Like I wasn't on that same number 7 just last week. And let's be real, those car payments and gas prices ain't cheap. I might have just been one big bill away from crawling right back onto that same number 7. But nah, I refuse to go back to the live set of The Walking Dead we call public transportation. The amount of Gotham City-like things I've witnessed with my own 2 eyes is enough to stop some of you from leaving the crib altogether, if I'm being real. Anyways, around this time I realized I had about 5 months left until my G2 expired. And I had booked my G test for the following week. Me being me, I couldn't even fathom the idea of failing my driving test. So 5 months left on my license was enough room for me. I mean, I'm too nice with it, right? The following week, I entered that godforsaken place ready for my test. I thought I'd just get it done and never have to think about this place again. Simple, right? I honestly should have known better when I saw my driving examiner had a Blue Lives Matter tattoo on his forearm. I knew right then and there, I might just be cooked indefinitely, with no possibility of parole. He then comes up to my window and asks me the typical questions. Do you have any illegal weapons in the just turn your right indicator on for me, Blackie. After he finished reading me my Miranda rights, he then hopped in and the test began. I don't know about you, but something about tests just send my stress levels through the roof. I'll be totally chill the entire time until shit gets real. And then suddenly, I'm all clammy, stressed out, I'm shaking, like I just saw my bank account after a night out. Anyways, that's besides the point. The whole time we're in the car, it's just mad awkward. I'm just trying to make small talk with Buddy, but he's not having it. We keep going and he's instructing me. Turn right on Maestro Way. You know, the typical stuff. It's going pretty smoothly and I'm thinking I'm gonna pass this with ease. I'm all happy, smiling big as shit. We're finally on the home stretch. I can see the test facility from here. He then asked me to reverse into the parking spots to complete the test. I do it flawlessly, of course, and now I feel pretty good about how everything went. But then I noticed for some reason, he's smiling too. Funny because this whole time he didn't show a speck of emotion, but but I'm thinking maybe he's just not as bad as a person as I assumed he was. I'm really just waiting for him to tell me the good news about how I'm about to be G certified now. But then he hits me with the, "Unfortunately, you did not meet the requirements to pass his driving test today," he says with the biggest smile and the most cheerful grin plastered on his fucking face. "But feel free to rebook for another additional $100. I swear he was one step away from throwing me the biggest thumbs up on his way out of my vehicle. It took all I could to not have a full-blown nigga moment with this Ku Klux Klan member in the passenger seat of my car. Calmly as I could, I asked him, what exactly haven't I done to meet the standards? He looked at me dead in the eyes and said, "You weren't checking your blind spots enough." I did end up booking another test, and I'm hoping I don't get the Grand Wizard again. I actually had to reschedule the whole thing again because on the day of my second test, my back brake light was out. They wouldn't let me start until I got it fixed. Very understandable. And since I couldn't get it repaired on the spot, I had to book another test 2 months after my license was set to expire. Fortunately, they extended my license until that date, but the stakes are much higher now. If I failed this next time, I'd officially lose my license and I'd have to sit next to Becky, taking that fat L I was so desperately avoiding right alongside her. I'm really hoping I don't have to make a fucking part 2 to this shit, but anyways, I appreciate you listening to my TED Talk. I'll see you in the next one. My name's Arthur, and I'm out.